I'm Jason with Hatfield RV, and today I want to discuss the construction benefits to the Cedar Creek that we carry. Forest River does a really good job describing how they're constructed. They have a very good video describing the construction process, but they don't really go in detail on the benefits to that, and that's what I want to discuss today. I want to discuss it on our Hathaway. This is the 36CK2. It's a very popular model. It's got a dual vanity. I just want to go over some of the features that the Hathaway series has over the silverback. One of the upgrades they have is they went with an air ride pin box versus just a traditional pin box, which is nice. The frame of the Hathaway, I want to show you here on the framing of the Hathaway. They've gone to a Z-frame, and actually I believe on the silverbacks they're going to a Z-frame, but basically what the Z-frame gives you is 100 more cubic foot of storage. They've basically been able to drop the frame in the storage compartment to give you this added storage. So just for comparison's sake, I want to show you on a vehicle that is a non-Z frame on this unit right here. So on this particular unit, they don't have the Z-frame technology, so the framing comes underneath, and you can see how much extra storage space you get on a Z-frame just by taking that frame and moving it further down. The other benefit to the Cedar Creeks, all of the Cedar Creeks for that matter, is the hung wall construction. Now on the Forest River video, they do a very good job describing the process of how they do a hung wall construction, but they don't really describe the benefits to it. So just a few benefits of a hung wall construction versus a laminated sidewall. So on a hung wall construction, the strength is in the framing. You have studs 16 on center, so it's built very much like your house. On this particular model that's laminated, the strength is in the bonding. So the strength is in the gluing of this process. So immediately the one major issue to a laminated process is the potential to delaminate. Now, they have really done a very good job on laminating campers on today's camper, so the risk of delamination is very low, not to scare you out of a laminated camper. But when you're going to a hung wall camper, you never have to worry about delamination because there's no lamination in the process. The other nice thing that they can do when they go to a hung wall is they can put actual strung fiberglass in there. Strung fiberglass is going to carry a higher R value, and a laminated wall they're going to use foam density. Foam density is not going to carry the R value that strung fiberglass is going to carry. The other nice thing that Cedar Creek does is they use a gel coat exterior. Now this is actually true gel coat. A couple benefits to a gel coat is it's got a gloss sheen to it. You can actually buff it, you can shine it, you can wax it. It's the same color through, so if there's any kind of chips in there, it's going to be the same color. It's very easy to fix. Something like this, if you damage this, it's very difficult to repair something like this. There is no gloss to it. You could put a coat of wax on it, but you're never going to get a shine to it that gel coat's going to have. The other nice thing about a hung wall construction is it's a breathable wall. So very much like your home where you need that air buffer to create that heat exchange, to allow heat to escape, to allow moisture to escape. This is in this construction right here, so it's very much a four-season, long-term living coach. Something like this, there is no barrier in there. There's no way for moisture to escape. There's no way for that wall to breathe, and I have literally seen these type of campers where if they're not properly ventilated, that they will rot from the inside out just because moisture gets trapped on the inside. So again, another nice feature to a hung wall construction. Not to mention, if you ever want to do any kind of add-ons, run wiring through the wall, again, it's built very much like your home, so it's very easy to run wiring within this wall. Something like this would be very difficult to make any kind of add-ons. Just to continue on here, all of the doors have gone to slam latch and they're side load now, so you don't have to worry about lifting up or ducking under. The other nice benefit to the Z-frame is this extra cargo space allows space for a generator. So all of our Cedar Creeks have the option for a generator, which is a nice feature. They've moved all of the plumbing into this nice, neat compartment, which is insulated. You don't have to worry about it freezing. They have done testing on the Cedar Creeks. They've done testing in 0 degrees, and all of the tanks were at 40 degrees or higher. So these coaches are good at 0 degrees or even lower at that condition. They've also gone to hydraulic leveling. This particular coach is going to have electric leveling. Hydraulic leveling is going to be more durable. It's also auto leveling. You just hit one button, it automatically levels. Plus it knows the hitch height. You can have it memorize your hitch height. So you hit one button on this thing and it will automatically level to where your truck is, so it's very easy to connect and disconnect. One thing that they do on the Hathaways is they've gone to an instant hot water tank versus a traditional 6 or 10 gallon hot water tank. You're going to have hot water on demand at all times with this particular model. The other thing that they've gone to is they've gone to Easy Lube and Never Adjust Dexter axles. So the nice thing about the Easy Lube is there is a Zerk fitting on the end of that, which allows you to grease both the inner bearing and the outer bearing. So it's greasing both bearings. And then the Never Adjust axle, it's always adjusting those brakes. So you get 50% more stopping distance on a Never Adjust braking system when you're comparing it to an out of adjustment traditional braking system. So they have very adequate brakes on this. The other nice thing about the Hathaway line is they are adding a one-piece fiberglass cap on the back, where a traditional coach is only going to have a Phylon lay or just a gel coat layover instead of the one-piece fiberglass cap. The understructure is very important on the Cedar Creeks. This is a true four-season coach. They are using a very durable ABS material for the underclosure. A lot of people just use a corrugated PVC, which isn't as strong. It allows for a lot of leak points. On top of that, they're adding a radiant barrier. That radiant barrier adds an R38R value to it. We do have some coaches where the radiant barrier is an option to the exterior, and when you walk in one versus one without, I noticed a several degree difference, 5, 6, 7, 8 degree difference just walking in and out of a unit with radiant barrier. Not only are they putting radiant barrier underneath in the underclosure, but they're putting radiant barrier over the entire coach. So the majority of this coach has radiant barrier on top of our batten insulation. Now back to the bottom. Not only are they using the corrugated ABS plastic, but they're also adding the radiant barrier, and they're adding R40 insulated batten down there on top of tank heaters. I don't know of any other coach builder going to that extent to make sure that the understructure is well insulated as this unit. One thing I want to point out is the frameless automotive style window that Cedar Creek is using. If you've noticed, you don't see framing or rubber stripping around that window. So if you look over here on a traditional window, you're going to see rubber stripping along the outside of it along with drains. The problem with this type of scenario is the sun will dry this seal out and will cause it to shrink, and you have gutters here which could potentially clog up and cause leak points. Going to a frameless style window like that, you don't have to worry about the sun shrinking that seal because it's not exposed to the UV lights. Plus you don't have drains to worry about on that style window. So it's a much better type of window. Also on their slide outs, if you notice right here on the slide, they're putting large frameless windows on the side of their slide outs. Some will use frameless windows, but they'll use traditional style windows on their slides. Cedar Creek's doing both. Okay, along with the interior, Cedar Creek does a very nice job using solid surface countertops. They've gone to an undermount, deep double dish bowl. The nice thing about the undermount is you don't have an exposed seal here to worry about, and then you've got the pull-out tray on the sink. The air conditioning is another key point I want to point out on the Cedar Creeks. A traditional air conditioning system will have an air conditioner sit right here, and then the return will be right here. So it's very noisy. You get a lot of airflow and you get a lot of air rush, and you have compressor noise. What they've done with the Cedar Creeks is they've gone to a 15K AC units versus 13.5, and they've moved the return over to here. The nice thing about the return being here, there's two returns, and you'll see this on both sides, both here in the living area and up there in the bedroom area. But it makes it quieter. You get more airflow, you get more return airflow, and by raising that air conditioner up, it makes it quieter. The other thing they've gone to what's called a whisper quiet. So what they do is, instead of having two air conditionings battle each other out as far as conflicting airflow, so instead of having airflow go this way and airflow going this way, which isn't very efficient, they use what's called a racetrack design. So air is going to basically going in a circle, constantly going in a circular motion to give you the most maximized air efficiency possible. Plus they're using an 8-inch duct up there versus our competitors which are using 5-inch ducts. Whenever you go into a coach, especially a fifth wheel, the molding around the slide out is a pet peeve of mine. This is actual wood, and if you're ever in a travel trailer or if you're ever in a fifth wheel, just kind of wrap your hand around the back side of it, because sometimes you can't tell. And if you feel where the paper overlay goes onto the pressed wood, then you know it's not a true wood slide out. See, the problem is, with any slide out, it will draw moisture in because just from inherently bringing the slide in, and you always see slide damage right here. Using an actual hardwood that's coated, you're not going to see any water damage just from inherently running the slide in and out. In the Cedar Creek Hathaway series, they are using actual residential furniture. This is lazy boy furniture meant for your home, so it's very comfortable. They're not using anything from Lippard, anything designed for an RV. It's actual residential furniture, which is nice. And then in our Silverback line, they're using Franklin furniture, which is a nice upgrade. They do a nice job with their fireplace. Not only does this put out 5,000 BTUs of heat when you're using it, but it also pulls out to give you storage behind it. That's a nice afterthought that Cedar Creek decided to put in play. Again, all the cabinetry is hardwood. Nice large pantry in this particular model. And then the oven, a traditional size oven is 22 inch. That is much deeper than that. That's probably a 24 or even a 26-inch oven. And then of course they've gone to a residential fridge. One thing I wanted to point out on the outside, the nice thing about residential fridges is you don't have to worry about ventilation from the back or the top. So it's just two large ports outside of the coach that you don't have to worry as a leak point. And all of our coaches with residential fridges are going to have an inverter so you can use these on the road. A nice thing that Cedar Creek has done as well is they've got a central vac right here. So this is where your central vac hose would go. And then what this is actually nice. So let's say you're sweeping your floor. You can actually press that button and it will scoop up any debris that you're sweeping up to it, which is a nice feature. Cedar Creek comes with an owner's manual that is built in right into the LCI. So if you come on over here, this LCI is going to have the owner's manual in it, plus there's a lot of things that you can operate in here. You can operate slides, leveling systems, along with a remote. This system has a remote that you can operate front tracks, slides, which is a nice feature. So you can grab the remote, go outside, run slides out, run slides in. Plus, I believe there's an app for this too to control it with your phone. And then up in the bathroom, so this is one of the big selling features to this particular model is this dual vanity. They've gone solid surface countertops. A lot of our competitors would go with a cheaper countertop material in the bathroom and only go solid surface in the kitchens. They are solid surface throughout. So it's a nice, I believe it's Corian upgrade here with dual vanity. They've also gone to a porcelain toilet, so it's a much nicer toilet. It's a porcelain style. And then in the shower, it's a one-piece enclosure. So you don't have seams to worry about. It's a one-piece ABS enclosure, which is nice. And then in the bedroom, of course they have max air vents both in the living area and in the bedroom. This is a king style bed. And then all of the floor planes of Cedar Creeks have the option for a stackable washer dryer in the front living area or in the front closet area. And I believe we hit all the key points of the Cedar Creek. Make sure to like this video on YouTube and check us out at HatfieldRV.com.